Welcome to Raw Relatable, where only the real's gonna relate. I'm your host, Josh, but I go by Prince Shay on all of my social media platforms. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are here recording episode 1. Whoop, whoop, whoop. First episode to kick off the season. Today I have my lovely guest and my friend of 10 plus years, Miss Ashli. Give her a round of applause. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we talked about it earlier, but we were supposed to record this on Sunday, and I went to my manager's house Saturday night and got a little toe up, woke up. We had a time and woke up and was like, we gotta reschedule. So thank you for bearing with me on the reschedule process.
No problem.
On another day.
I'm honored. I'm more than honored to be here. So thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of just jump right into it. We're gonna discuss today purpose and mental, and how everything in life is mental, and how our mind and how we think about stuff and how that affects everything that we do. I can first and foremost say that I struggled with mental as far as decision making pretty much my whole life. It's not easy to put priorities in front of what looks like fun or a good time. That's why I say using the example of what happened at my manager's house. That was a mental decision. I could have mentally chose not to go and get toe up, and then could have ended up having an episode, or I chose the other route, and then this is the consequence that happened. So just understanding, like I said, our mental decisions affect everything that we do in life, whether that's career-wise, having fun, family, love life, whatever. Mental is really big on our decision making.
For sure. I know for me.
First let's cheers.
Okay.
We didn't cheers.
Unwind a little bit.
Cheers. No, you gotta look me in my eyes because bad sex for what is it?
Yeah, I
7
want
years?
bad sex. Great sex.
Cheers. That's good.
Yeah.
A little Riesling.
I like that.
I'll tell you where I got it from.
Okay.
But go ahead.
As far as like for me, in this place and where I am for life right now in this adulting stage, it's imperative that, I'm setting boundaries, right? And making the best decision, thinking about everything. When we're younger, we kind of just go through life aimlessly, like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And it's been a struggle because it's like I have to say no, and that saying no is creating boundaries for me. And it's like I've seen this, everyone's seen the meme, let your yeses be your yeses and your nos be your nos, and stand on them and say no without reason.
Right.
It's just no. I know what my no is, but there's no need that you may need to know what my no is. So yeah, for sure.
And you apply that into
everything.
Part of mental decisions and setting boundaries, like you said. And this is one person who does set boundaries because her phone stays on D&D all day.
Do not disturb.
Literally
please.
every day. I will go to text Ashli, and it's just a purple line that says silence every single time. I almost told her, you got to put me in your favorites so I can get past that little D&D bar, because it's a boundary in which I've set for myself. So I don't know if you know this, but you know my family, right? I felt like I was conditioned, Josh, to be a people pleaser in a sense. Growing up in a single family household, it was just my mom and my 3 sisters, and my mom, she was in the military. So she was gone for 2 weeks at a time. It was just me, my sisters, and my grandma, who had a stroke at the time. So she wasn't as active with us as we got into our older years. So I was like the second parent. So my mom conditioned me, can you do this? I need you to do this. Look after your sisters. Do this, do that.
did my like extracurriculars and things like that. And I always like, there was no question she ever asked me. It was like, okay, you got it across the board. What you want to do? Here's the money. Boom. But I still knew my responsibility was always other people. Even up to now, I really didn't get the whole, like, make the mental decision to focus on yourself until maybe about 2 years ago. And my mom told me, she was like, you know, I don't know if you might think that I'm going to be upset with you, but you can say no. And I used to almost freak out if I would say no. And I'm that friend. Like, if you call me when I didn't have a routine in my life or set those boundaries, like, let's go do this. And I'm like, sure, let's go. Not thinking about all the responsibilities on which I had. And then doing that had such an impact on my mental health, because then I would start to get anxiety because I didn't get these things accomplished because I was living so like just frivolously.
Right.
Frivolously. But yes, so that's why I have my do not disturb. It's like a mental thing for me. I have to.
No, I do too. I do put my phone on D&D. I put my phone on D&D every night. Mm-hmm. So between the hours of probably like 9 or 10 up until like the next morning, I am D&D. But I try to make sure I'm available to people. I feel like that's me setting my boundaries of this is the time that's my cutoff in a sense for the night. Between these hours and these hours, you cannot reach me. And that goes for family, friends, work life, whatever. I'm not doing it.
And you know, to be honest, I don't put the do not disturb on there so that people can't reach me, because you can text me whatever it is that you need to ask me.
You can hit notify anyway.
Yes, and I'll see it, and then I'll schedule it in on how I'm gonna answer it, or how I'm gonna address it.
So you do see it.
Yeah, I don't completely. Sometimes I forget to text back. I do.
Okay.
But it just helps me create those boundaries, because it gives me anxiety, and then I feel like yes, I have
and
to
anxiety is real.
It is. Anxiety is real. Like, growing up, my weight will fluctuate up and down. They were like, why you just drop weight like that? Because I have mental anxiety. Like, some people have anxiety in their heart race. Like, I mentally, my weight drops. My heart is racing all the time. I won't eat because my mind is going for so long. And then going into everything as a mental decision, it was until recently, it's like, I have a choice to be in that space. Like, if I'm going to, you know, and those things are a choice. Like, not to say that the emotion doesn't impact you, but, you know, I have a choice.
Right.
I have a choice to have anxiety or to be sad in this moment.
And that's all back to mental, and how everything we do in life is really mental. I really apply that, or had to apply that in my life, because and I still do struggle with it. I do know that a lot of decisions I make mentally change the narrative of how my life or even my day is going to go. I can say, again, I can go out one night, but knowing I got to get up the next morning and go work out. Yeah. Now I'm in the bed till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't go work out. Right. How mentally it affects everything that we do, even down to working out.
A good friend of mine, you know, she always taught me. I learned from my friends. Yeah. You know, I
shout out to Save.
Shout out to Save. Shout out to friends. Okay. You know, because it's like our parents raised us as best as they could, you know, up until this point, and then it's our job to decide, like, okay, I'm gonna take this that I learned from, I'm gonna take that, and then everything else is your responsibility. Honestly, I feel like from 18 on. But my good friend Save instilled in me, because she said her mom instilled that in her, is that you have to be in control of your mind and your mental. And you know, for me, I used to think that my mom, not to no shade, but I just thought that she was so emotionally obtuse. Like, she just didn't show any emotion. I've seen my mom cry 3 times in my whole life. 3 times. That's it.
Was she an affectionate parent?
Very affectionate, very loving. Like, don't get me wrong, I had a very affectionate mom. Tell me she loved me all the time. There's folks out here that have never heard, you know, their parent tell them they love them or whatever. I didn't have that issue, but I don't think that she helped my sisters and I manage our mental and our emotions, because she didn't have that issue. And so to have 3 kids who have that issue or whatever, she's looking at us like...
Is it because she was in the military, or you think she got that armor, that kind of tough, you know, of not showing it because the Army is so
I'll be honest, my grandmother was like that.
Oh, well,
so where did my sisters and I get it from? Maybe it has to be my dad's side.
Yeah.
It has to be. But it just wasn't relatable for her. So she didn't really know how to coach us, teach us how to manage that. So she would just really look at us when we're having mental breakdowns and be like, pull it together. And it might have been the military as well. But like I said, my grandmother was in the military and she was like that. And so it wasn't until like I was like 27, 28, and I was going through probably a very trying time when it came to my mental, my emotions. And I was shout out my friend Save. She just used to instill in me, you got to get in control of your mind, friend. Get in control of your mind. Your mind is the most powerful thing in what you have. And she just instilled that in me. And so now, like Beyonce says, she's going to give herself 24 hours, to cry if she's sad about something, lay in the bed, do nothing. And then after that, it's let's just give it, it's go time. We still have things in which we need to get done. And it's a struggle. Like, I still struggle with it today. I do.
Yeah.
I definitely still struggle with it today. I'm no ways perfect. I'm not perfect. But
none of us are. I found into mental too that what I'm learning too in my mental are, like you said, setting boundaries is the power of the word no. Mm-hmm. And I struggle with telling people no. Mm-hmm. I'm like the not go along to get along type of friend, but I can be. Mm-hmm. I think it is good to show up for your friends when you need. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, if a person texts me like, "Hey, you want to do this?" You like, "Oh yeah, why not?" But it is times where I know I don't want to do something, and I know I shouldn't do it because I got, like I said, obligation next day, even if it is me working out or, it's the power of no, because mentally I know if I do not do this, what that trickle down into and affects for the rest of my day. Right. So the word no is what I'm trying to get used to saying.
Right. I think, also for me, it's just, being comfortable with saying no. Is like I said, let your yeses be your yeses and your nos be your nos. And those things should be in alignment with what it is that you have planned for your life. Being intentional. Yeah. I try to live my life as being as intentional as possible. God is working on me. Okay, I might do things that are out of alignment with that sometimes, but I'm trying to be in alignment with good intentions on my life and the things that I have planned. So creating those boundaries, the reasons for them is so that I am in alignment with my goals, and living the life that God has for me. Like I said, pray with me, don't play with me. I'm working. He's working on me.
Yeah. How do you feel about mental aligning with your purpose?
I'm still trying to find my purpose.
Really?
Every day.
So, because me and my friends, I'll let y'all know, we talk off camera, obviously. So some of these conversations, I ain't gonna say are new, but it is a way for us to dig a little deeper into it.
For sure.
Let me ask you how you feel about, this is something we never talked about, how do you feel about the word purpose, and where do you think that aligns with saying my purpose versus God's purpose? Because where I dissected that for a long time was, as all of us do, we think we are here to live out my purpose or our purpose. Where I got to the point where I'm like, it's really not mine, because this life is not mine, and this shit is bigger than me, and everything that I do is bigger than me. So now I'm really walking into realizing that everything I do now is God's purpose. Right. Because if it comes down and it filters through me physically, but I'm walking in His purpose, I'm being obedient to His assignment or His calling for me to serve out His purpose, whatever that is. Right.
And so for me, I used to struggle because I feel like I was a jack of all trades, master of none, right? So it was just like, well, they're good at this, they're good at that. And, social media makes us compare ourselves to everyone, whether it's relationship, jobs. Yep. It's like, well, this is their niche. Josh, you have this podcast. I don't have anything. But, I figured that no matter what I do, no matter just even me sitting here right now, anything that I do in life, I want it to be for the glorification of God. So even if I do go to the gym, I need to find a way to make it for God's glory or whatever. And that is my purpose in life. Not necessarily a thing, because I can be involved in a lot of different things. And as long as I'm giving the glory to God and all those things, I believe that I'm fulfilling my purpose as a human, what God has put me on this earth to do.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my, idea around
But you
purpose.
said you were struggling with your purpose.
And it's not my own. It's
Right.
not my own anymore. I think that's our fleshly, we're humans, and that's our flesh is telling us, like, it's my purpose, is what am I supposed to be doing. But I'm put on this earth to give God the glory in whatever it is that I'm doing.
And whatever you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, whatever it is. But even if it's not whatever I'm doing, as long as I'm giving God the glory, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
I don't care if it's, I'm on social.
And like you said, when you said, I'm sorry, I'm a little tipsy.
Jesus,
when it's like you said, it's my podcast and this and that, I think that a lot of times when you walk into your purpose and you realize that it's bigger than you and it's really walking, like I said, in God's purpose, that you get what I call benefits or rewarded in life off of walking in His purpose or what's aligned to Him.
For sure.
So when you can go buy that new car, or you can go buy that Louis Vuitton bag or the Louis Vuitton earrings, right? You are doing something that's aligned with Him and His purpose. So He said, as my child, I'm going to reward you in this way to have tangible or monetary things because you're now walking His purpose. You have people out here all the time that wonder why they can't go get material things or whatever.
Right.
And I feel like, yeah, you could, but A, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your day? Where's your mental? Are you trying to figure out your purpose, quote unquote, or God's purpose? And once you do find that and figure that out, imagine what's going to happen once you start walking into that calling or walking into that assignment or, and then now seeing the fruit of that labor because you're walking in what God wants you to do.
Absolutely.
And it could be the smallest thing, but you got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Even my relationship with God was not always the best. I didn't really find God or connect with a relationship with God till I was about 18 or 19. And I'm going to tell you how that story happened.
Tell me. I love to hear it.
So I grew up in church my whole life. I went to New Birth Missionary Baptist Church out in Stone Mount, Lithonia. If you know that church, yeah. Pastor Eddie Long, he's the one that did that whole scandal. God rest his soul. That's not funny, I'm sorry. God rest his soul. But that was my home church. And for a long time, I thought that church was the end all be all. Church was a decision making. Like if you don't go to church, you're going to hell. Raised to believe that. And then I got to a point.
Did you hate that?
Very much so. I hated that.
Like just feeling like you were forced to.
Like I'd be in church and my mom would be like, don't wake up. That whole like,
yes.
Why are you sleeping? You're not listening. And I'm like, well, I'm 5.
When I got to college,
and I don't know
was
what
like,
he's talking about.
To church.
And then she's like, you want to get baptized? Not really. You gonna dip me in water? I go dip myself in the bathtub. So we were raised to think and believe all of those things. Dolce, bed. Sorry, you guys. I have a dog, and she's being very now wanting to be busy. You sit there. Thank you. Love you. So did the whole church thing, and then like I said, thinking I had to get baptized and all of that. And I got to an age where I'm like, I can serve God without being in a church or a building. And I got to a point where I realized church is just a building. You have a lot of pastors out here who say a lot of stuff on the microphone, but are back behind closed doors doing a lot of things. And that's where I got to the point where I realized church wasn't a way that I needed to get closer to God, or I realized I didn't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. I wanted to know God for myself and my experiences of life and what he does for me. And so to tell the story, I like I said, I was 18 or 19. I had a job and I lost my job and I got on unemployment. And back in the day, if you ever been on unemployment, you remember they used to mail the checks to you. And I did get the weekly max, thank God, right? Shout out to the weekly max unemployment. And I remember being down to, I thought it was my last check for the week. And but prior to that, I remember asking God like days before, if you are real, show me who you are, because I got this car note that got to be paid on Friday, and I ain't got no money, and my parents ain't giving it to me, and I can't ask my friends. We all in the same boat at this age. We all 18, 19 working at Chick-fil-A and whatever 18, 19-year-old jobs. I think when I was 18, I was working at I had several jobs. I think I was like doing H&R Block marketing and some all kind of crazy shit. But I was like, show me who you are. And that Wednesday or Thursday, I went to my mailbox, and I kid you not, it was an unemployment check in there. And I thought I exhausted all my benefits. And in that moment, I was like, oh, you are real. And it was the smallest connection for me to get to him of just that. Because days before I said, if you are real, show me you are real. Because
show me your face.
And sure enough, that check was in the mail. And so the littlest thing was my connection to God and me finding out who God was. And I told him ever since that day, I'm going to serve you. I want to get to know you. I want to walk into your purpose. I want a better relationship with you. Because I used to have moments where I used to cry in the bed. And even at 18, 19, you really think 18, 19-year-old don't really have a lot of cares and worries in the world. But mentally, we all go through stuff at any age. And I had moments where I'm like, what is you doing up there? Like, what is going on? Right. And it was very, I ain't gonna say, well, yes, it was wrong of me to have that kind of attitude towards God, but that was before I got to know him. And once I did, man, it changed my life. So I shout out to anybody out there that's struggling. Get to know your creator. Absolutely. It will change literally your life. Sure. In so many different ways. It's not even I'm not even talking about tangible things of changing your life, of being able to get stuff. It just changes the way you look at life and your outlook on life and everything else around you. For sure. When you say everything is a mental decision, in order for you to kind of guide your mental and how to discern your decision making, is that you definitely have to read God's word to understand what is it that he's expecting of you. And for me, it wasn't until COVID. For me, I've always had a relationship with God. I grew up in the church. My grandma was a pastor. COVID did a lot for a lot of people. Hello? Listen, COVID helped me strengthen my relationship with God. Because you had to sit with yourself. For sure. You had to sit with yourself. You didn't get to have those voids, to go out, to be around people, to indulge in these vices and these certain distractions, what I call it. Exactly. I literally had to sit at home with myself and face myself, and that and therapy. So for me, it was COVID, and then I had realized during COVID, I grew up in the church. Yeah, me too. 7 days a week. Yeah. Okay. Really. Yeah, 7 days. I did Sundays and Wednesdays, Bible study. Was your parents Sunday school? That was your Bible study. I did that too. Was your parents the ones to make you sometimes sit in two services? Because they had the morning one. Yes, because my grandma was a pastor. Absolutely. Jesus. And it got to the point where I would just sit in church, just looking forward to the KFC buffet in Camden, South Carolina. And you know about the KFC buffet. Don't bet. What state was this? Camden, South Carolina, Kershaw County. That's where my roots are from. What I look forward to was the cracker and the wine. Communion. Communion Sunday. I could not wait. Was it every third or first? Every first Sunday. First Sunday. I could not wait till first Sunday to get that little that stale heads cracker and that grape juice and that cup. Goodness. Can you imagine going to church even on Saturdays? Like, you went? Yes, almost 7 days a week, and 7 days a week. Damn. And so, for me, when I got out of my mom's house when I went to college, it was like,
I'm not waking up to go to church. Like, I can't. Like, it was just like they forced their...
Now, did you try to go to church after that?
Of course, I went.
I went with my friends afterwards. Like, when I was 17, 18.
Yeah, of course, you know, like, I went when I got to college. I invited my friends. We'd go to church.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was... But I didn't have my own relationship. I went because I knew that I had to.
You thought you had to go.
Yeah. And, you know, I realized, like, I don't have my own relationship. So I bought this book called The Bible in 52 Weeks. And I started reading the Bible. I had never read... You know, like, the pastor says, go to this scripture. I started reading and studying it for myself. And to be honest...
Don't say bed.
And to be honest, that's what helped me.
Come here.
That's what helped me.
Y'all, my dog is being very needy right now. She want to make an appearance on the podcast. Come on. Come on. Jump up here. You can't get up here. Come on. Say hi. She wants to make an appearance. Say hi. You're interrupting. You say hi? Okay. Say hi. Go to bed. That's my dog, y'all. I'm sorry. My child, she's 2 years old and she's very needy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's what helped me with honestly discerning, you know.
And getting to know.
Yeah, getting to know God and like really helping me with my decision making in life, whether it be relationships, decisions, jobs, just life in general. So reading my word and knowing where to give my laser focus to how I should think by reading my word. So
yeah, well, I hope you find your purpose or God's purpose in, because I think it's all aligned together. We physically can do the work. He can't physically do it for us.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said I think it comes from him through me, and I can physically do what he's called me to do. I hope that you do find that, because I think that's and I don't think it's and for anybody who is still struggling to find their purpose, I don't put an age cap on that. You know, there's people that's 40, 50 years old and still wondering what do they want to do next.
Absolutely.
Or you get to a crossroad and you're like, I've done a lot in my life and now I'm here and I'm stuck and I don't know what to do.
Right.
I really encourage you to find God, talk to God. I'm big on prayer, but I'm also big on talking to God.
Yeah.
And
prayer is a conversation.
Oh, and I feel like if you're quiet enough,
you
can hear him. And I think it's the most beautiful thing that I have found and done in my life.
Yeah.
One of my friends, my manager, he actually asked me what keeps me going. He asked me this a long time ago when we first met, and I said, realizing that this shit is bigger than me. I said, so what I do is everything that I get, I send it back up to him.
For sure.
Because this ain't, like I said, it's bigger than me. This ain't about me. This podcast is not about me, right? I think I'm walking into God's purpose of doing this podcast. He's letting me be the flesh and the sounding voice for him.
For sure. To
heal whatever child of his out here that needs to hear this. But I literally keep going, and what keeps me going is knowing that this does not belong to me. When we die, we can't take none of this with us.
Absolutely not.
This is a journey, not a destination. Right?
Absolutely. It's a marathon. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay. Yeah, this is not our destination. This is not the end all be all. We got somewhere to be after this.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what keeps me going. He asked me, that's what keeps me going, because I really had tapped into understanding this shit is bigger than me.
I'm so proud of you for doing this.
And I'm telling you, I will be honest with y'all, my friends have done wonders to me of healing me in a lot of ways. The friend group that I have now versus the ones I had when I met you. And we still talk to some of them. And some of them are good, but a lot of them, I don't say no names, they were not good for me. And then me being at this big age and coming into thinking that I didn't need no new friends. And I was good with the ones I got.
Absolutely.
And then getting out of that stubborn, childish kind of mindset of thinking that you can't meet new people.
Right.
And not allowing God to let people come into your life.
Sure.
And if you got a connection with somebody, let that be
for sure
natural and authentic, and don't fight it. My new group of friends have healed me in ways that I did not think I could.
You know, God's word said that there's a season for everything, every person, everything. And so I feel like same here. You know, the friends that I made, you know, there are people who have the same friends since kindergarten. Like I know a group of friends that have been friends since kindergarten. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But everybody's walk is different, you know. And there's a season for everything and everyone. So that's right.
I start there. Yeah, my group of friends, like I said, have healed me and helped me out in a lot of ways of growth. And I'll be honest, I would not be able to do this podcast if you asked me 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I am not the same person. Yeah. I think I'm a lot more calmer.
I've always loved you.
Yeah, and people do love me.
I've always loved you.
But I'm just saying, like, just how I used to be. I was very snapbacky. Who are you? That uppity, you know, cold shoulder shit. Like, you know, just not down to earth and real. I wouldn't be able to sit in front of this camera and do a podcast called Raw Relatable if I was still that same person 3 years ago. So I thank my group of friends for really helping me grow in mental. Yeah. Because my mental was very childish in a lot of ways.
So,
yeah.
Me too. Back then. I just want to say I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud. And I'm honored.
Proud of you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because we were young.
We were babies.
Yeah. And we knew it all. And
he knew it all.
Couldn't tell us nothing.
Nothing.
Very stubborn. We argued and fought about the stupidest shit.
Didn't tell me anything.
Nothing. But yeah, we have grown a lot. And,
for sure.
And I like that our mental has grown.
For sure.
In this whole 10 plus years. It's beautiful to see.
I think people's experiences in life shape their perceptions. And I'm grateful for the different experiences, even though, you know, I would look at God and be like, why are you putting me through this? But now in hindsight is 2020, right? Just understanding I needed to go through those things.
Yes.
To give me laser focus and give me 2020 vision and what's the bigger picture and the, you know, what he does have for me. And so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm big on not having any regrets. I try to, it's as easy as we say we regret things. At this big age, I realized that everything that, like you said, did go wrong, or them tests or those trials led me to here.
For sure.
So honestly, it's easy to say, yeah, I regret this in my life. I regret doing this. I literally don't have anything. I take every situation, every trial, every roadblock as it was supposed to, and it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And knowing God makes no mistakes, and if you could really tap into knowing that He doesn't make any mistakes, and that whatever you're going through in that season is for the betterment of where He's about to take you. If you could tap into that, I think you will be far, far more ahead in what your journey, what your life is about to look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I thank you for coming on the podcast.
I thank you for having me. I just can't stop saying it. I'm so honored that you would invite me.
Yes, y'all. This is the first episode.
Number 1.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Raw Relatable. Again, I am your host, Josh, but I go by Prince J on most of my social medias. This is my lovely friend again, Ashley. Where can they find you if they want to look you up and holler? You know, some nigga want to shout, may want to jump in your DMs or something.
I'm in a relationship with God right now. But you all can find me at Ashley Nicole, Ashley with an I, Nicole, Nicole.
All right, you can find me, guys, on Instagram at Prince_J. That's Prince with 2 I's. And also follow our podcast page, Raw and Relatable Pod, on IG, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, let's get it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a great first episode again. Cheers. Thank you for coming on my first. Cheers to many more. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you. See you next time. Peace.